Hello again. It's Monday evening and I'm out in the shop again, and just thought I'd show you the finishing these two slots off so that I can take the block off and turn it around and put the other slot in here. I don't think I have enough room to move it over this way to put in the slots there. That'll have to be done afterwards. Yeah. So this I got this sitting on a piece of hardboard, and when it gets wet, it absorbs the moisture, and so when I take it off and move it, I'm going to get rid of the hardboard when I set it up for this slot, and I'm going to put this stuff underneath. It's like a vinyl, it's a thinnish vinyl, and I just do that to help to protect the table. I thought the hardboard would be okay, but once it gets wet it kind of swells up, and so I'm going to have to get rid of it. In the meantime, what I've done in the first slot and the second slot here, I used a 45 cutter, dovetail cutter, to put a chamfer on the underneath of the slot. The idea is that these T-nuts, they have sharp corners in there, and it's such a good fit that I was worried that it might burr up the underneath edge corner. So I used the dovetail to just take away the sharp corner on both sides of each slot. So now what I'm doing is I'm relieving the bottom of the slot. If you look at, if you've got a tag, or I can't remember now, but I think that all T-slots have like a relief going down maybe 20 thou. In this case I've made it 30 thou, and I presume that that's to give a little bit of clearance in case the stud is actually protruding at the bottom of the nut at the bottom here. So just to make sure I'm putting a relief in there, and I'm about to do it on this side. The only cutter I had was a long one, 3/8 cutter, so I'm a little bit, there's quite a bit of the cutter sticking out, but it's cutting fine, and I'm not exactly sure what speed I'm running at now. I'll try and check. There, 1, 2, 1, 2. I've got it running there. I'll just check and see. I've got a RPM on the lathe, so I'll just check. It's set in the same way. That's 1, 2. Yeah, I got it at 500 RPM. I got it running at 500 RPM. It's a 4 flute, and the corners are broken, So I like end mills that have the corners broken. They seem to cut a lot better, and unless you need a sharp corner, then it works fine. So okay, I'll switch it on and get the drip going, and we'll start cutting. It's cutting nice. Yeah. Cutting nice. I don't know if you can see the feed that I'm giving it. It's a fairly good feed. And I'm getting some nice chips, so it's cutting good. So I'm going to put this up a bit. It would be nice if I had a flood coolant, but the machine is not really set up for that. It does tend to make an awful mess. This coolant that I have, it's a white coolant, and it's you can dilute it, and the nice thing that I like about it is that if you leave it overnight, it looks like a coolant on the surface, but then when you come out in the morning, it seems as though the liquid has dissipated, I guess that's the word, I'm not sure, but you get this, it's like a nice oil, and that's what I like about it, is that it doesn't leave any water on the surface, and even on the milling machine, the tables or anything. If you're working on where it gets on the table, I would imagine it's pretty good for cast iron tables. I mean, obviously, I don't think it's going to affect this anyway. It's aluminium. But if you've got cast iron, then if there's any water on the table, then it can discolour. And like in this case, if this was cast iron with this board getting wet, you might find that when you remove it, the table has been discoloured. So I think this is a pretty good mixture. I use it almost neat. I just put a little drop of water with it. So it's really cutting nice. It's not rubbing, or you can feel that it's cutting cleanly. It's not glazing up or rubbing. So, and this is I don't know what kind of steel this is. It's certainly not free cutting. It's just ordinary, I guess, hot rolled. Yeah, it is hot rolled, it must be. So everything's going fine at the moment. I really like this little Sherline motor. It fits in nicely with the size of the mill. It's not like a great big half horsepower or quarter horsepower AC motor. It's nice and neat and small, and it's really pretty neat. So I would recommend it for anybody that has a Tag. I think with the AC motor there's a tendency for liable to burn out your tool bits because of some of the operations that you do where you need a slower speed. I mean, don't quote me on that, but that's my theory anyway. I mean, this is cutting nice. The motor's not even warm hardly. When I had the smaller belt on and it was under stress because the motor wanted to turn but it was jamming up and the motor was still turning, it was getting really hot. So hot that you had a job to touch it. So this is definitely a 100% improvement on the old system. So I would recommend this system with the CNC pulleys and the bigger belt, and you'll get a lot more satisfaction out of the. There we go, that's that. Okay. So, there you go. I always touch underneath to see that there's plenty of oil there, a nice surface of oil. This being so heavy probably has a tendency to squash the oil out, so it doesn't turn easy. I mean, there's a certain amount of resistance with this thing on there, but it's not too bad. So that's the finish of what I can do here. I'm going to check to see if I can get out far enough this way to put the two slots in there. Be much better if I could, but I don't think I'll be able to. Yeah, it's getting quite loose now. So I don't think I'm doing any damage to the machine. I think it could do if there was more weight on there. So that's that. Okay, I'm gonna stop the camera now, and I'll come back maybe tomorrow when I move this around and get it set up. Maybe I'll do another video then. That's about it. I can't think of anything else at this time. It's pretty good. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again. Thank you.